Hello, my name is Kal Metivier, and today we're going to be investigating chaga's free radical scavenging and advanced glycation end product inhibition potential. To start, the study of chaga's antioxidant and anti-cancerous, anti-diabetic, and anti-inflammatory properties is due in part to the high phenolic and flavonoid content, which is the main component in chaga's bioactive effects. The introduction of chaga into a regular diet may decrease LDL cholesterol, lower blood sugar, and stimulate white blood cell production, which can decrease the risk of developing heart disease and provide benefit in the treatment of diabetes and increase immune support. Presence of important polysaccharides in chaga demonstrates important immunomodulatory, hypoglycemic, hypolipidemic, and hepatoprotective capabilities, which can help improve insulin sensitivity and protect the liver from drastic blood sugar changes. Of concern is the protein sugar complexes called advanced glycation end products, which are known for increasing radical oxygen species production and can lead to long-term blood sugar instability and an increased risk of pancreatic atrophy. Let's get into it. Phase 1, extraction method optimization. To determine the optimal extraction method for chaga, we analyze steeped extraction for 6 minutes in 100 degrees Celsius water, maceration extraction for 48 hours in 70% ethanol, ultrasound-assisted extraction for 10 minutes at 40 degrees Celsius in 70% ethanol, and sock slit extraction using the Buki universal extractor in 70% ethanol for 20 cycles. All extracts were rotary evaporated and resuspended in 75% methanol before being analyzed by FNC assay and DPPH assay for their total phenolic content and free radical scavenging ability determination. So it determined that the total phenolic content for the sock slit extraction was significant at 22.10 plus or minus 0.28 milligram of gallic acid equivalent per gram of dry weight when compared to the other extraction types. The sock slit extraction had a significantly higher free radical scavenging ability of 16.51 plus or minus 0.26 milligrams of gallic acid equivalent per gram dry weight when compared to the other extraction types. Moving forward to phase 2, wild collected versus commercial chaga determination, we went forward with the sock slit extraction. Phase 2, wild collected and commercial chaga samplers were extracted using sock slit extraction before being rotary evaporated and resuspended in 75% methanol. The extracts were analyzed by UPLC, BPPH, and FNC assays, and then assessed for percent age inhibition. The commercial chaga had a total phenolic content of 18.01 plus or minus 5.07 milligrams GAE per gram dry weight, while the wild chaga had a total phenolic content of 10.38 plus or minus 5.15 milligrams GAE per gram dry weight, while the wild lyophilized chaga had a total phenolic content of 12.32 plus or minus 6.04 milligrams gallic acid equivalent per gram dry weight. No significant difference was found between the commercial or wild collected chagas for their total phenolic content. The commercial chaga had a free radical oxygen scavenging ability of 2.57 plus or minus 1.71 milligrams GAE per gram dry weight, while the wild chaga had a 2.10 plus or minus 1.32 milligram GAE per gram dry weight, and the wild lyophilized chaga had a 2.13 plus or minus 1.42 milligrams GAE per gram dry weight. No significant difference was found between the commercial and wild chaga for their free radical oxygen scavenging species. The inhibition of age formation in the negative control was 0%. The positive control had a 67.64% inhibition. The commercial chaga had a 100.6 plus or minus 2.21% inhibition, while the inhibition of age formation in the negative control was 0%. The positive control had 67.64% inhibition. While the commercial chaga had 100.6 plus or minus 2.21% inhibition, the wild chaga had 69.94 plus or minus 17.26% inhibition, and the lyophilized wild chaga had 71.16 plus or minus 19.74% inhibition. No significant difference was found between the wild or commercial chaga in terms of their age inhibition potentials. To conclude, sock slit extraction with 70% ethanol was determined to be the optimal extraction. To conclude, Soxhlet extraction with 70% ethanol was determined to be the optimal extraction method for phenolic compounds in free radical scavengers, with a total phenolic content of 22.10 plus or minus 0.28 milligrams GAE per gram dry weight, and the free radical scavenging ability to be 16.51 plus or minus 0.26 milligrams GAE per gram dry weight. No determination could be made if local, wild collected, or commercially available chaga had a higher total phenolic content or a better free radical scavenging ability. They perform similarly. The UPLC analysis of the local, wild collected, and commercial chaga showed that vanillic acid was present in all samples. Both commercial and wild collected chagas performed as effective age inhibitors, and neither showed a significant difference to the positive control. Although the hypothesis that the local wild collected chaga would perform better compared to the commercial chaga was unable to be proven, it was determined that they are similar and both work as free radical scavengers and effective age inhibitors. A key takeaway is that chaga is an effective age inhibitor, which is highly beneficial to people who would be at risk of diabetes mellitus type 2 and demonstrate a high antioxidant capacity. In future work, it would be necessary to include a lower concentration of vanillic acid standard curve for UPLC analysis, as well as the vanillic acid present in the chaga samples was below the threshold of quantification. To bring it up to the level of quantification, it may be necessary to spike the samples with additional vanillic acid and then determine the concentration. Additionally, further extract development needs to occur to be beneficial to consumers, including a solvent exchange and purification to remove any harmful solvents from the extract. I'd like to thank you for investigating chaga's free radical scavenging and advanced glycation and product inhibition potential with me. Thank you.